Let's go!
If we could address you directly right now.
Everything comes full circle.
That's number one.
I don't tell him what questions to ask me.
There are a lot of people around town that have the same question.
Brush my teeth. I'm a good wash in the morning.
I can't confirm or deny.
You know, just keep going a little bit longer here, Mike. Keep going a little bit longer.
Today, broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University, this is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to Newhouse Afternoon on QSportsTalk.com, ESPN 97.7. I'm Jill Schumacher alongside Patrick Scanlon and Andrew Watson. And March Madness happened last night. Some madness ensued. I mean,
we finally got some madness.
Finally. I mean, I don't even know if you would call that technically madness. I mean, the last couple seconds were madness, but what?
Kinda, yeah. I would say that pretty mad. I think the Final Four was probably the best Final Four we've seen, probably in our lifetime. You know, there were some great games, but it's never really been. We haven't really seen a 3-for-3.
You think that Final Four was the best Final Four you've ever seen in your lifetime?
There are better games singularly, but as a whole, going 3-for-3 with games, that Houston-Duke finish, the Florida-Auburn comeback, and then that comeback, I think 3-for-3. They went 3-for-3 100%. Usually they go 2-for-3, 1-for-3.
Yeah.
And they really went 3-for-3.
And in the last couple of years, when you have UConn in there, then it's definitely, you almost go like 0-for-3 at that point.
I actually get that FAU San Diego State game. That was pretty sweet. But besides that, I mean, UConn's really blown it out of the water. But yeah, I'd say probably the best Final Four we have seen in our lifetime.
Lifetime might be crazy, but
what would you say in our lifetime? What else?
I don't know.
Let's look at the other ones. 2019, pretty great Final Four.
That one was pretty good.
UVA, Texas Tech overtime. Auburn, UVA, pretty good.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Michigan State, Texas Tech. That one was pretty good, I thought.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Mm. And then I would say 2016 is a classic because you have Villanova, UNC. But remember, before they beat Oklahoma by 45.
Yeah, no, that was.
So that's not a great game. It was fun to watch as a Villanova fan. And then the other one was UNC Syracuse, which was kind of close. It was a 10-point game, something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, pretty good first impression at least, or recency bias.
I mean, I'll take it. I'm good. That was.
Pretty good.
My bracket worked out, so I'm happy with that.
I mean,
one.
my bracket worked out as well. I had Florida going all the way.
Really?
Yes, I did.
What about Tennessee? I thought you had Tennessee.
I'm in like 3 different brackets.
It doesn't count. You can't count that then.
She actually had Florida going in her second chance bracket, and that's
no,
what
I
had
about. Florida going all the way in my bracket with my college teammates.
I had Houston over Florida from the get-go. So Houston was up 12, and they blew that. Florida they were down 9+ points in the second half in each of their last 3 games. So it shows to how the the grit and determination of Florida. I'd see that Texas Tech game was the most impressive though. That was nuts.
Yeah, that
Personally,
was crazy.
I really wanted Florida to win, but I don't know why. After watching Houston's game prior, I just started to really like them as a team. Like, I normally don't feel bad when teams lose, but I felt bad for them.
You gotta feel
for them.
Why. There's not they're not dislikable.
No, I think you just feel bad whenever a team makes it that far and loses.
Not every time. I like when Duke loses. I like when.
Yeah, but this Duke team is a little bit different too. Like, they were likable. Like, I kind of felt bad when Duke lost.
I felt bad for Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, because they didn't have the Christian Laettner, Grayson Allen on their team anymore. So they're actually kind of cool to watch.
Name is archaic.
And John Shire is a little cooler than Coach K was, in my opinion.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I can actually root for him. So I was rooting for Duke and the ACC, but I also picked Houston to beat them, so I was also not.
Houston is, they proved all tournament that they were just most of the time they were the tougher team. They have, endurance-wise too, they have all their guys that run at least a 5.5-minute mile. You've got 6'9" guys out there running crazy mile times. So they had the endurance, but Florida just Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin, they had the guys that stepped up late, and that lead started to go slower and slower. Houston could not score late either.
No.
They had 4 turnovers in the last 4 possessions. You got to get a shot off on that last possession.
Yeah,
that is
bad. But also, Houston played probably the toughest schedule to get to the national championship game in a long time.
Florida's pretty tough too. I'd say that's
they
probably
played Gonzaga as an 8 seed.
They played UConn as an 8 seed. Florida did.
But Gonzaga is the 8th best team in the country. UConn was the 30th
per net,
best team in the country.
But I'd say UConn was a tougher team out than Gonzaga. They beat Gonzaga this year.
So.
UConn beat Gonzaga in the regular season.
But I don't think this UConn now. Sorry, Joe. I don't think
You're
this UConn now is as good as that Gonzaga team is.
In
right?
regards to this
I would say
game,
UConn's better.
in this game, what do we think the tipping point was? Because the reality of the situation is that Florida didn't end up leading until the last, what was it, 66 seconds?
Yeah, so those free throws were the first lead since 8-6, I think. And then it was, I think the fact that you contained Walter Clayton Jr. to 0 points in the first half, and then they had, you knew you were going to get adjustments, and they just adjusted better than Houston did right out the gate in the second half, and Clayton started to go. Like in the first half, he had 8 assists, so he was doing the right things when you double Clayton and you make him give to other guys. He was doing the right things, but they weren't winning, obviously, because you need Clayton to go off if he's going to have 30 points against Auburn and 30 points against Texas Tech. You're going to need him to have points in this game. So Florida realized that and adjusted well, and then I think they just out-adjusted Kelvin Sampson. And the last 10 minutes, Florida was clicking, and Houston was not.
Yeah, I think it was just Houston's lack of a meaningful offense late. It was just it was very Virginia-esque to watch. The defense is awesome, and then the offense just will fall apart at times.
Well, I also think it had a lot to do with Florida kind of got their stuff together in the second half, because watching that first half, I mean, they had a total of around 13 turnovers in the entire game, a majority
12.
of 12.
Yep. I mean, still a lot, though.
A majority of them were within that first half.
Yeah, Houston only had 3 in the first half.
And so it was. I really felt that Florida was a little sloppy at the beginning, but obviously you have nerves, you have a lot of things going into the equation, and it kind of seems like they got their cool and their stuff together into the second half. So I think that Florida just made an adjustment, and Houston didn't think they were going to have to. And then once that came out, they never tipped the scales again.
Yeah, they also forced Houston to get in a lot of one-on-one situations when Houston plays a very big team brand of basketball where they'll rack up a bunch of assists in a game. In this game, they only had, 5 assists.
Right.
Kelvin Sampson wasn't too happy in the press conference afterwards.
No.
A reporter
They're
asked
not playing
him about
Satchwatch
that.
State again.
No, but a
That
reporter
was
asked him about that,
crazy.
and he goes something along the lines of just what was the Baylor one from back in the day? How does Baylor lose to Yale? They get more rebounds.
How does Baylor out-rebound, or how does Yale out-rebound Baylor?
Yeah,
So
well,
you
you
go
grab
up,
the
you
ball.
grab it.
But,
Down. That's
but
a
Kelvin
rebound. They
Sampson
had more
did the
of
same
those.
thing again. You pass it to a guy, and when he scores, that's an assist. So we didn't do that good. And I was like, I don't know. You could have answered that pretty well, because I feel like Florida did a good job one-on-one defensively to where they can, force Houston to shoot some pretty late threes, like some uncomfortable threes too. And
well, Houston only averages 3 turnovers or 8 turnovers a game. That's third best in the country. And this one, I mean, they did pretty well in that first half, but then you end up with 8 turnovers. So you're gonna,
9.
The fact that those were in the second half, that's when the crucial tipping points. The fact that you have 4 turnovers in the last 4 possessions is what really irked me. You need a double. That shot needs to be a double clutch or something.
Well,
you need to get a shot
if that's the
up.
case, they only had 5 turnovers in the first however many possessions, because they only finished with 9. So I mean, it's like it was literally the
Crunch
last
time.
minute and a half where Florida just clamped down, and once you give up a lead like that, it's almost impossible to get it back right away, especially in the national championship game, because you're so high off the fact that, oh my gosh, we're up however many, 12, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, Florida's back.
Houston was playing to win there. Do you agree with that, or do you? I mean, obviously hindsight's 20/20, but you're down 2 and you're dribbling out. Do you extend the game, or do you go try to get that 3?
I think they've done a good job of getting the ball into the paint all tournament, and then Florida just locked it down and kept them on the perimeter. So, I mean, I get going for the win, because it's going to be so tough to get in the paint, because if you turn it over there, you're obviously going to lose.
Yeah.
But if you do it earlier, if they run it quickly down the floor and try to get to the paint real quick, and you turn the ball over, there's still 10 seconds left. Instead, you turn it over with 3 seconds left, then the game's over. And I think it's ironic also that Florida wins the game diving for a loose ball on the floor.
That's
the
what Houston's
videos that were
known for,
coming
yeah.
out of Houston at practice.
Yes.
So I think it's ironic with that one.
But also, you talk about the 3-point shot. I mean, going from the arc, both of these teams didn't have a great showing.
No, bouncy ball today.
Yes.
From the arc at all. Both of them only scoring 6 3-pointers. So does it become a different game if Houston could have figured that element out?
Well, I think if you would have told me Florida would make 6 3-pointers in this game, I would have told you Houston would have won by 15.
Right, something big, which they were doing.
But Condon played really well in the paint and did, a good job of keeping some of these guys away. Juwan Roberts, Joseph Tugler. I mean, both of them score 8 points and 5 points. I mean, it's like they did a good job of putting all of the pressure onto LJ Cryer. And you put up 18 shots and make 6 of them.
Yeah, you get 19, but you still, I mean, that's pretty inefficient.
Because my initial thought when Florida wasn't sinking those threes, I was like, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad news. Like, this is gonna get away from them fast. But
that final, I think, 4-minute stretch, it was just miss shot after miss shot for both teams.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, because Florida rushed back. I think there was a 2-minute stretch where they went on like an 8-0, 9-0 run, something like that. And no one could capitalize on it. And then Florida late, I think they only capitalized because they got fouled. They went to the line and made 2 free throws to give them their first lead since early in the first. So I think that was just...
80% from the line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's pretty good, especially with like... That's an optic you're not used to as a basketball player, is the Alamo Dome, just the fact that there is a sea of people behind the basket. You're used to like a wall of people, and then when you push it back out, that's a big problem with threes. They always talk about in the Final Four, and people when they play in the dome.
They say it messes with your perception.
Messes with your depth perception. So it's always like free throws, threes, just shots in general. It's always tough.
All right, join us on the other side of this break. If you have any questions, leave it in the Twitch stream, and we'll talk about it. This is qsports.com.
Sweet.
Are we good?
Thank you. Where's Q-Scout?
Where's Q-Scout?
Where is he?
Is he really loud for you, too?
Oh, yeah, he's really loud. Patrick is just...
Do you want Oxmon down?
No, don't touch it.
No, just don't touch anything.
Just don't touch it, man. It's all good.
I'm worried that you're going to mess it up.
I'm not going to touch anything. We're going back to Indiana. Are we talking about the Crown final now?
No.
What?
We could talk about Villanova.
We could talk about Villanova.
We're talking UConn.
Oh, Nana Njoku's transferring to Southern Mississippi. That's the Villanova backup big guy. That's huge.
No. Oh, no.
Wow, the Olivia Miles, that Notre Dame guard, TCU bound. And TCU just beat him.
Boogie Flan.
That's Kevin Durant-esque.
If you can't beat him, join him.
That's what she was thinking. Boogie Flan. Why would you bring him up?
I don't know. Paul.
I can't believe Robert Morris played a game. They only had one guy.
John Poulikitis.
He should have done more, man.
I know. Sad days to be a Yale fan.
I think this year I guess we can talk about that later. I won't bring it up. But we got anything from out here?
Yeah. Supercat said Boogie.
Oh, Boogie Flan.
No way.
Boogie Flan.
You're talking Syracuse. We could talk Syracuse portal later.
Yeah, we could.
That's pretty big these days.
I mean,
you love the portal. Day-Day Ames is headed. He's headed to Central NY.
No, he's not. He's going to Cal.
What?
Patrick.
Dude,
lock in on the portal.
So
how are you not locked in on the portal right now?
I'm locked in. I'm going portaling. I went portaling last year.
I like that name. Diet.
Day-Day Ames.
Day-Day Ames.
Do you like? Andrew loves his style of play.
His style of play.
I mean, he can handle the ball pretty well. He is a sneaky good three-point shooter. I don't know how he'll do over there in California, but the air is different. It'll just be a classic ACC rivalry when California comes to town next year.
Is it supposed to rain? Is it supposed to snow on April 8th in Syracuse? Is that normal? Can anyone in the chat?
It's April 8th and it's snowing, so I would assume.
No, I think we might get the wrong update.
Do we need like a meteorologist?
We might need a new update.
What do we think?
On what?
Ooh,
Jerry Dang, the FSU guy?
The question is to transfer to SU, yes or no?
We're used to FSU transfers with Naheem McLeod. He was first. Okay, let's look at Jerry Dang real quick.
What are the odds?
He's from Rochester.
Okay,
honestly, that's a great.
I don't hate that yet. He went to Hampton and then he went to
Supercat 610. That's a great take. I like that.
This is a great take. I mean, at some point with Syracuse, you're just looking for depth. I mean, they got the talent now, I think, but not to hate on some Georgia Tech fans.
You were not happy about that yet.
But I don't think that is the one that will set Syracuse over the edge. I think they need to go out and get a guy, another guy. I don't know who, but maybe it's Jerry Dang. maybe it's him.
Hey, Jerry Dang scored 10 in their win over Syracuse this year. Or Syracuse's win over FSU, sorry, in their 10-point loss. Or scored 10 points in their loss. Hey, he scored in the last 5 games. He scored double digits in 4 of them for FSU. I don't hate that. Look at Jerry Dang, Rochester kid. I don't hate that at all. I could see that going. How much you paying them? That was the real question.
I don't know.
You definitely have a plus if he's going to Rochester, though. Hometown ties.
I'm currently looking at a.
Oh yeah, no. This Syracuse needs Jerry Dang. He's 6'9", and he shoots the 3.
Stretch the floor
at 37%.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I like Jerry Dang.
Supercat, are you Jerry Dang?
Should I come here? Yes,
we should come here.
10 seconds.
I can hear him.
You can hear him. That's crazy talk.
Still communist.
ESPN 97.7 and 100.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to Newhouse Afternoon. I am Jill Schumacher with Patrick Scanlon and Andrew Watson here on ESPN 97.7. Now, onto the women's side of things, if I do say so myself.
I think this year the men's and women's kind of sides of the Final Four kind of flip-flopped.
Sides?
Like the sides, like the Final Four for the women's and the Final Four for the men's. I think both that side, the women's side and the men's side, flip-flopped. Usually, last 2 years, like the talk of the people has been Final Four for the women's has been like these high competitive games with these storylines. I think this year the blowout side went to the women's side. Didn't have a lot of close games.
I thought you were saying something along the lines of like teams that didn't deserve to be there, like FAU got into the Final Four, and I was about to be like,
no, the FAU actually did deserve to be in the Final Four.
No, I was just confused across the board.
FAU beat a great Kansas State team and a Tennessee team. That was really good. And Elijah Martin's proven it. He's won a championship.
But
so.
yeah, the blowouts in the women's bracket, but it still made it fun. I mean, you had people to root for in this.
I mean, there's massive storylines in the fact that you have Juju's injury, which was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that stunk.
But then there's the fact that Paige Beckers, Sarah Strong, and Azzy Fudd really have been working for years for this, and just their relationship with like Gino is a story in itself. So I don't know. And then yes, this was kind of a lopsided win, 82-59. But
kind of.
Most all 3 of them were pretty much decided early.
This is exactly how it went during the regular season too. And then you have Paige Beckers, who's like battling back from injury, who this program could have seen a championship trophy way sooner. At least in her time there. Obviously, the program itself has a ton to its name already. But what did we like from that game in general?
I just think the storylines were cool.
Okay.
Paige Beckers versus, honestly, Dawn Staley.
Yeah.
The only coach to beat Gino in the championship round was Dawn Staley.
Yeah, I know there was some. I guess discontent with how much love Paige Beckers was getting from some of the other coaches in the NCAA. But
in what regard?
Like, people weren't just at that game to watch Paige Beckers. They were there to also watch South Carolina. Because before the game, everyone was talking about Paige Beckers. But no one was talking about the fact that South Carolina has won 2 of the last 3 national championships. And they can win 3. So it's like, it was weird. I mean, it was one of those weird things, but there was no way I was watching that game for South Carolina. I was definitely watching it for UConn, rooting for UConn to get back on the top step.
Well, there was this narrative forever. It was like UConn wins basketball, dominates the sport, and they did. They were at what 100 something in a row, like 80, 90. It was a crazy stretch in the mid 2010s, and I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, like that's kind of been the narrative still, but they hadn't won a championship since 2016. So 9 years since UConn hoisted the trophy. I mean, and the fact that they did it in such a dominant fashion and all year was kind of like, Paige Beckers' last hurrah. And does Gino still have it? Oh, yeah, he still got it. And here's trophy number 12.
And it's also the fact that those 3 players that I listed are the first since 2009 to combine together for 100 points since UConn. That starting three. Their core
in
three.
the Final Four?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like trying to add this up. I was like, wow, if my math is that bad for one game.
Gotta go back to grade school.
Sorry, I could have clarified on that. Then also, Strong was the first player in history to have at least 20 points, 15 boards, 5 assists in a national championship game.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, the funniest part is all the talks about Paige Beckers, and that's easily the most talented team in the country. It might be one of the most talented teams we've seen in the last 10 years. I think it's...
Well, you got to feel bad for the guy who's got to keep changing the exit sign to stores. It says every time they win a championship, he has to go out there and change the number. So now it's 12-time women's basketball champ, 6-time men's basketball champ. Is like rowing in there too or something, but soccer champs too. But got to feel bad for the Crowns crew on Route 195. Got to feel shout out to those guys.
I'll take that job.
It's not a bad job.
Yeah,
work once a year.
Yeah,
once a year, maybe once a year.
Maybe once for the last 3 years. Yeah.
I
mean, this game in general was largely in control by UConn from the beginning, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint one exact point where the scales kind of tipped. But if you were to, it would be the third quarter when UConn outscored South Carolina 26-16. I would say that really.
I feel like it even felt that more out of hand before that too. They were up like 10 or more the whole game, and it was just like. I don't know. South Carolina kind of felt like the gas was run out, the brakes were running out, which is rare for that South Carolina team. But I think just a grueling season for the SEC and just them dominating everybody, and just it's a lot of expectations too. When you're third straight, you saw it with the Chiefs this year. Is like you kind of get that championship fatigue. I don't know if it happened to them, but you could definitely see it's a long season. It's a long 3 seasons for Dawn Staley and her crew.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if I had to highlight a point, it was early. It was pretty early in the game. Like. I'm looking at it right now because I remember it happening, but I don't remember the exact time. It's 3:59 to go. South Carolina did not score.
First?
Yes, in the first. South Carolina did not score another point until a minute into the second quarter. So they went 5 minutes without scoring, and UConn didn't really pull away. And then from there, you're up 9 or 10 points, and you have the talent that UConn does. There's almost no way.
No.
That lead goes away, and then they cut it back down, and then again went on another scoring drought going into halftime, and that it just felt like every time South Carolina had a push early, it was just immediately turned around and said, no, this is ours, we're taking it home.
And also UConn went 86% from the line, and that's the type of coach that Gino is for this program. He's a very strong on fundamentals in that old school kind of mentality. I mean, everyone knows free throws are important, but I mean, in this game it wasn't close, but if it were to be, that type of statistic really matters.
Yeah.
So there's that as well.
Was now the oldest head coach to win any men's or women's national championship, 71 for Gino. So
how many does this make?
Calvin Sampson was 69. He could have been there, but let a quite a brute. I mean,
what does that make? Was Todd Golden the second youngest?
He's the youngest since Valvano.
Yeah.
So he was.
So second youngest, or
not all time, just since.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so he has won a record of 12 national championships in his career.
Number 12.
The most in women's college basketball history.
The AI overview is going awesome.
Absolutely nuclear.
But
I don't know, Andrew. Do you like the venue? I always look at the venues for these.
19 undefeated conference season. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's the Big East. It's not the best women's basketball conference. But Creighton was pretty solid this year. Won a tournament game. But in terms of San Antonio and Tampa, how do you think they did on the branding of it all and the fact that their Final Four is pretty much larger than life, so, and you want to pipe it up? Do you think they hyped it up to where it needed to be for both of them?
I think so. Yeah, and honestly, I saw more stuff about the women's Final Four. I was almost more comfortable with that one. That was one of the ones that if I was just looking at the commercials and everything, I'd be like, yeah, Paige Beckers is a star. There's UConn's not a 1 seed. I'd be very happy to watch a 2 seed win it all, then have 4 1 seeds in there. Even though I did pick 4 1 seeds in my bracket just now. But I was still, I think I liked Tampa more than San Antonio.
I would agree.
I don't hate that. I think the fact is, though, that all the cool content I saw from the Riverwalk, I think that definitely adds a cool thing, because also the Alamo Dome, its main purpose is to host UTSA football, the San Antonio Brahmas, and in the Final Four once every 6 years.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of crazy that structure's there, and like it doesn't have an NFL team, nothing huge there. Just has some college football for AAC team. So I think the fact that they go all out. That Riverwalk was cool because it had like people in floats, like teams were going down in floats with their mascots, and everyone was on the side, drinking drinks and eating tortilla chips.
I think what would be really cool is if they could possibly do it in the same city for the Final Four.
They talked about that. Todd Golden referenced that.
And obviously at different stadiums, there's no way you could try.
You could do it on so it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That could work.
I mean,
think so.
Lacrosse does it, but that's not even you can't compare.
Yeah, the problem you'd run into is hotel rooms where people are going to stay because you're already pushing it. Even in San Antonio, when you got over 60,000 people at that game last night.
Mm-hmm. I mean, San Antonio's not the biggest city in the world.
Yeah, so you'd have to pick a massive spot to do it if you're going to do that because now you're hosting. I would assume that the women's national championship game
would also be in the same spot.
Would get a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're pushing 120,000 people
especially
trying to find a place
if there
to
are 8
stay.
different schools. I think you'd get a similar turnout if it was similar schools, like when NC State was in it for both years last year, or both sides. But the fact is, you're probably getting 8 different alma maters of different people from like
what
these
if they just
schools.
did the one? What if just the championship game was in?
I think the problem with that is like the whole the whole point of the Final Four is. Yeah, it's not even about the games at that point. It's just about like it's supposed to be this massive thing. And
it's also cool you get to stay around in the same city for 3 nights. Yeah. You get to watch all these teams. I think it's possible in the right city.
I also think that the timing and rest situation, if the women played their Final Four games somewhere else and then had to go fly somewhere else to play 2 days or a day later, I think that wouldn't work out, and I'd be pretty upset if I was them.
All right, join us on the other side of this break to continue talking about some March Madness. This is Newhouse Afternoon on ESPN 97.7.
Thanks.
Do you want to tee you guys up for lacrosse?
Sure.
Quick intro for you guys.
What are you going to say?
I actually watched the game. No, I was saying I'll intro you guys.
And then you left early. You said we'll be right back.
No, I didn't. I sat in the corner. I sat by our goal. I sat by McCool.
I'll be right back. Nope.
You weren't even there. You weren't even on our side.
I was there the first time. You guys sat in the wrong seats. Didn't come back and find me.
So
you didn't text me.
I did.
And then
you got some play-by-play behind it.
And then good friend of the program, Ryan Bell, said that you got up, said I will be right back.
No, he said we're going to
get
food.
Did not show back up.
It was my fault. There were extracurriculars happening around me.
It was pretty packed, so maybe you got lost.
There was 12. It was 12 grand. It's a lot of people.
It's pretty expensive too. 12 grand.
We had a free ticket. I'll take a free ticket any day.
Yeah. Student ID is an awesome thing.
Jerry Dang, we're back. Did they say anything about
No.
Nothing?
No.
Nova alerts.
What did Nova alerts say?
It's just the former Wildcat enters the portal.
Who?
Nana Njoku.
No, Kansas State's Brendan Housen.
Yes, he did.
Do you think he makes a return?
No.
Let's bring him. Let's bring him up.
Oh,
here
did you see this?
Syracuse.
Who? Brendan Housen?
Yeah.
We need a Cole Swider-esque guy, a Villanova to Syracuse guy who can shoot the 3 and not play defense. He could play some defense.
No, we need defense.
Well, when we just did the zone, it worked perfect in the zone.
We zone you.
We zone. It's a very sweet shirt, actually.
That was the best $4 I've ever spent at the thrift store. A We Zone You orange shirt. Oh my goodness. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I think this might be our last show.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Don't we have a schedule for these things?
I tried to look for it. I couldn't find it.
Whatever.
Oh, the national champions have touchdown in Gainesville.
Oh no.
They'll be on the field in 30 minutes.
They'll be on the field.
Yeah.
Why?
What?
To celebrate.
Dude.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Jill, who is your early prediction to win the national championship next year? Men's basketball.
And why is it Villanova? Or UMass Lowell? Or Virginia?
Who is it?
Stanford.
What? The men's side?
Serious right now? That would be crazy.
If Stanford wins,
if this happens,
clip this.
Someone clip this right here. Jill just picked Stanford to win the men's basketball national championship next year.
I think you didn't put a lottery ticket in. Stanford winning it all. Well, let's put one for the Final Four.
I like an underdog.
I don't hate the Final Four. I don't hate them to go to the Final Four.
I wanted to see the tree on the side.
Oh my
God. Dude, the tree's not even affiliated. It's not the official mascot. It's just some guy.
I don't care.
But what happened? I thought you loved Louisville, Jill.
I do.
I'm not picking Louisville to make the tournament next year.
Lol.
Stop that. Get that out of here. They beat Syracuse, and it was not close.
And now they have.
And Stanford.
Now they have my favorite player in college basketball.
Data Ames.
Isaac McNeely.
Isaac McNeely.
I don't want to talk about that.
Do you do the Cicero thing right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll try it. Let me see.
You want to do it?
That's why I was going to set you guys up to talk lacrosse, because it's strange when you say lacrosse and then I'm like, gosh, lacrosse.
So you want to do the welcome back?
Sure, let's do it. Should I do it in your? I'm Jill Schumacher.
No, you got. Welcome back.
No, she's more lit than that.
We're in. Oh wait, we're live.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to QSportsTalk.com, ESPN 97.7 Newhouse Afternoon. This hour of Newhouse Afternoon is powered by Drivers Village Cicero. Go to dvoffers.com for more info. I'm Patrick Scanlon alongside Jillian Schumacher and Andrew Watson. Let's talk some lacrosse. Notre Dame and Syracuse in a top 10 matchup in the Dome on Saturday.
That was crazy.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Like that, there we go. Let's go.
That was Patrick's first time doing
it was an audition.
That was his one shining moment.
It was I needed that.
That was great. That was great. Yeah.
Because I was actually at a lacrosse game. I wanted to tee it up because it was a good game.
It was a good
Real
game.
good game.
It was.
But you were at another game.
I was, but I was driving back listening to it.
Oh, how was your game? You called the game. Don't be shy. Tell the crowd.
I did. I called Colgate Bucknell.
Sweet. Sweet. And
Colgate 1-1.
There we go.
For women's lacrosse, but I do have to say, when I was watching this game after I got back, I started it again from the beginning. Because,
I thought you were going to say you were watching it while driving, and that would not be good.
No.
Jill, I heard you had a crazy. You said Syracuse, Notre Dame's the better team, and Notre Dame should have won that game, but Syracuse won. What do you think? How did that happen then?
I don't think I said Notre Dame is the better team.
I thought we talked about this. I thought you said Notre Dame's a better team.
No, I said on paper, you're going back against the back-to-back national champions, and they're coming in to play at your place. That's a little daunting. And then you get the crowd up.
The largest crowd in men's lacrosse this season.
Yeah.
12,000 around.
I mean, the reality of the situation is that Notre Dame was up by 3 in the beginning.
Early.
Yeah, but then Syracuse held Notre Dame scoreless for 39 minutes and 53 seconds of game time. I don't think I've ever. I haven't watched a lot of lacrosse, but I don't think I've ever seen that in a top 10 matchup.
It was probably real time, like an hour, and
yes,
it was.
That was ridiculous.
Incredible.
That was crazy.
Watching that game.
How does Notre Dame go from scoring 3 goals in a minute?
Well, they actually did score 2
goals. They were brought back.
That's what we were gonna.
But that still doesn't count.
No.
What do you think?
I thought the one.
What do you think with Will Lynch, the one off the face-off? And then it got called back for being in the goal mouth. But
so that one,
Jimmy McCool.
That one, I thought that one should have been.
I agree. I think it should have been.
If you get pushed into the goal mouth, that's really not on you. It wasn't. It was very clear, I think, on the replay that it was. There was contact there. Maybe it wasn't as harsh as it looked, but. Still, I think that one should have counted. And in the end, it would not have mattered.
Yeah.
But still. But for momentum, it might have. But
yeah.
Also, I mean, the momentum didn't shift in the building when they scored that goal either way. So it wasn't like it would have been.
Yeah, I agree. It's also, I think, the main reason why Syracuse won is because they both had the same amount of turnovers. Let's make that clear. So it's the fact that Syracuse was able to capitalize off of Notre Dame's turnovers when Notre Dame wasn't able to do the same and convert off of Syracuse's mistakes. So basically it just came down to a battle of the ground balls. And in that term, that's where Syracuse really shined. They won 32 ground balls and Notre Dame only got 25. So when you're in a top 10 matchup like this, that's something that's really important.
Yeah, and I thought the face-offs were equally as important as the ground balls in that one, especially when Syracuse was going on their run, because it just did so much for the momentum. Even if they lost the face-off or didn't score on that first possession, just all of the momentum was saying, all right, Notre Dame, the pressure's on you now because you have to score, because the odds you win this face-off are pretty low. Syracuse won that stat 16-9. So,
well, I think you hear this in hockey a lot, and I'm sure it translates well to lacrosse. I think it definitely does. But basically, it's when you're on a tear and you're saving everything, it's just that one goal that gets through. Does that crack, a little crack in the armor there? And you could kind of say, 40 minutes of game time, you're making saves and doing cool, let's one go past them. Does that open up a seed of doubt in a goalie's mind, or is it a little too, people go into that too much?
Not necessarily. I mean,
because he let up a little run after he let that one goal in after 40 minutes scoreless, which was pretty impressive.
I think, the fact of the situation, if anything would have put doubt in my mind, it would have been the 3-0 early goals in the beginning. But no, I don't think that opens up a floodgate. I think that Jimmy McCool did a great job. And, I mean, it's lacrosse. Lacrosse is a high-scoring game. People are going to score. So keeping them out for...
Not for 40 minutes of game time.
So that's the other
Your
thing.
Syracuse defense.
You do your job. He kept them out for close to 40 minutes of game time, and within that quarter where they put up 6 and Notre Dame put up 0, McCool had 3 saves and Notre Dame had 3 turnovers. So there's that, which is I don't even know. It's just not characteristic of Notre Dame to not take advantage of other people's mistakes.
Yeah, and it honestly felt like Notre Dame wasn't getting good looks regardless.
No.
It felt like they were letting the shot clock run, searching for something. After they scored those first 3 goals in the first 4 minutes of the game, they only had 1 shot on goal in the entire first quarter after that. Never really got a good look. And then they only had 3. You mentioned the 3 saves in that second quarter when Syracuse was running away with it.
They also had 4 man-up opportunities and only scored on 1 of them.
Yeah, so it was just a sloppy game from Notre Dame, but it also didn't help Notre Dame that Syracuse played really well.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a matchup that the Fighting Irish would want to have back, but I do think these are 2 teams that have the ability to meet later in the year.
Well, now you look into number 1 Cornell in Uniondale this weekend. What do we like from Cornell? Just a quick rundown for the listener here. Jill, do you know more about Cornell than... Or that some of these Ivy League guys kind of sneak up. You saw what Harvard could do when they came into the Dome and beat Syracuse the first time ever.
I just think it's funny that, you look at the schedule and you're like, oh, Virginia, Notre Dame. We have to go to Virginia. Then we got to get Notre Dame at home. We get Hopkins at home.
Cornell and Uniondale.
And the hardest, the so-called hardest game on the schedule so far
number 1
is going to be Cornell.
On Long Island?
It's one that
they
people
do it every year.
With Cornell?
Well, no, there's always some big lacrosse game going on in Long Island every single year.
On Long Island.
But I'm the one who lives there. But
I'm just making sure.
Did you say it wrong?
She did. She said in Long Island.
I said in.
Wow.
On accident.
Wow.
Sorry,
Oh
but
my goodness gracious.
There's a reason for it. It's because there's a large lacrosse presence in Long Island, and then you have Hofstra that has a stadium that was originally
Speedy Claxton.
was originally a football stadium. So there's mass amounts of seating. So.
It's the former home of the Islanders in the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, allegedly.
Is that where they're
they're just playing in Uniondale. That's just in the city of Uniondale.
Oh, I was about to say.
I was like, they're not playing there.
That'd be sweet if they played there.
I'm pretty sure they're playing at Hofstra.
That would make sense, wouldn't it? It is
make way more sense than what you're talking about, Patrick.
No, I'm saying I'm just telling you a fact about Uniondale. You obviously didn't understand what I was saying.
Mitchell Field.
To state the obvious, CJ Christ is going to be someone that Syracuse is going to have to play lockdown defense on. He's easily going us, in my opinion, the first pick of the draft, period, for the PLL this year.
I like that take, but I also like that
Did you
Mitchell
look up?
Field
Yeah,
is
I just looked it up too.
Sorry, this is a quick sidetrack. Mitchell Field is famous for being the starting point for the first non-stop transcontinental bomber flight, Army B-18s. Kick off from Mitchell Field in Uniondale. Pretty historic. All right, Jill, you were talking about Cornell.
I was not expecting this.
It's an air base, allegedly. All right. But you said this is pretty normal for lacrosse is to be playing this game.
They do this. They do things where it's kind of like a grow the game type of thing, where teams will play in locations that aren't necessarily their city. So yes, both these teams are from New York, but it's upstate New York. So there are people on Long Island who are fans of these teams and want to see them, but they don't want to travel 5 hours.
Yeah, grow the game.
Just grow the game.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
That's why Syracuse is playing BC in women's lacrosse at Christian Brothers Academy.
Which is a little kind of crazy to me, is that you're playing number 1 Boston College, right? And your top 5 team, top 10 team, and it's going to be played at a high school. I mean, is it the Dome? I mean, after coming off
is
women's lacrosse having the largest
is?
Capacity, it's Metallica.
Oh no!
That's why the football for Syracuse football spring game this Saturday was Billy Joel was supposed to be in town, but he's gone now. So they're
he
playing.
got hurt.
I know he got hurt.
I was supposed to go see him,
but now Ricky Collins will be performing. That's a new starter for Syracuse men's football.
April 19th.
No, men's football, it's only football.
So I get it. They got to set up all the seats. I wish I could go to that concert. That looks like
Metallica?
a fun time. Yeah,
but you don't like Enter Sandman.
Except for that one song.
Well, speaking of stadiums, Foxborough, Gillette.
Oh, the Final Four. Good save. Good turnaround.
Both men's and women's will be there, which is great that they're being played in the same location. I'm very excited about that. But join us on the other side of this break on ESPN 97.7. Leave a comment in the Twitch stream.
Hey, this is former Syracuse.
Sweet. Thank you. Just go Ben 10.
No, I got an email from
Osman.
Yeah. The wonderful.
The wonderful.
The wonderful.
The wonderful Osman.
Mitchell Field.
That was crazy.
Also known as Mitchell Air Force Base.
I see. I didn't know that.
On Long Island, New York.
Correct.
AI overview. We're going to make sure.
Someone said they're playing at NCC Nassau Community College, Mitchell Field, which is...
They're right. Yeah, no.
You're right.
Just west of Nassau Coliseum. I'm looking at it right now.
I've played there before, too.
Really?
Yeah, my parents went to college there. NCC.
Is this it?
Yep.
Beautiful stadium.
Boom, boom, bing, ding, ding.
So it is the same thing.
It's
kind of.
I thought they were playing at Hofstra only because they're literally like down the block from each other. But I mean that would make sense. It would be kind of weird for two colleges to then go play at another like Division I program. Like if it's not for like a alternate location.
Where's Q-Scale?
For like the championship or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like the Final Four.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Do you want to talk? We can talk portal. I have the current list of 10 that Syracuse is looking at right now.
Well,
current starting 5. You can talk your Georgia Tech talk. Go on, unless Jill has something to say. Unless you want to talk baseball.
As long as they put Jerry Dang on that list, I am. That was probably the greatest shout of the day.
I love Jerry. Give me a Jerry Dang
might have been
jersey.
talking about that earlier, but yes, I'm fully committed to Jerry Dang.
Ooh, Villanova Chris Parker plans to enter the transfer portal. Alabama transfer, now Villanova transfer.
Stop doing that.
Doom, 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 doom. If you could have a starting 5 of Syracuse restaurants, eateries, and drinkeries, what's your starting 5, Andrew or Jill? Feel free to take the question.
Give me an auto burger right now.
You putting over the Q's? Where are they coming in? I think they're probably like a 3. They're pretty versatile.
You get like anything you want there.
You put Possibilities at the 1?
Oh.
You letting them run?
I love Possibilities. Francesca's is really good.
Francesca's is good.
You started
and Francesca's is slept on.
I think you need Dinosaur Barbecue at the 5.
I've never been there.
Come
I gotta
on,
go
man.
there. I know.
It's pretty, I mean, I'm like some people are like, oh, Dinosaur Barbecue. This
Is Craftsman not in the running because it's technically in DeWitt?
That is more of a Lemoyne player. But Craftsman's really good. Really good. I'd put him at 6. I'd probably put him at the 2.
You put him at the 2.
Not like second best, but like can shoot the ball pretty well. Can play some good defense. 3-and-D player.
Okay.
Pretty good wings. Pretty good burger. Pretty good beef en wet.
Where are you putting Exo Taco?
I don't think I'm starting Exo Taco. I think Exo Taco's a little overrated. Maybe coming off the bench, 7th man. We started Exo Taco beginning of the season, then we're benching him. Coming off the bench.
I don't know.
Now we're transferring to Louisville.
Has Chris Bell announced where he's going yet?
I don't know. He is not.
Chris Bell.
Who are you put at the 4, Jill? Who's your stretch big man? Kitty Hoynes?
Wait, sneaky? Yeah.
I think Kitty Hoynes could play the 4.
Their food is great.
Well, they had a good fish and chips last time we went.
Thank you. No, their food is really good.
It's really good. So Chris Bell has not gone anywhere yet.
John Poole the cutest.
Who are you not? Who are some people putting on their list that you're not? You're starting in the starting 5.
Are we still talking restaurants?
Yeah, we're still talking restaurants. I'm hungry.
Kitty Hoynes is probably for me.
No, you like them. I'm saying one person you wouldn't put in your starting 5 that some people would.
Wouldn't.
I have no idea. I don't really eat out, like, at real restaurants, like, often.
You're big, what do you eat for food? Like, grocery? You do Instacart.
Groceries, yeah.
Campus West Starbucks.
No, I've actually never been there.
What?
I don't like Starbucks. I'm really not a big coffee guy.
Do you like red dyes? Blue dyes?
ESPN 97.7 and 100.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to Newhouse Afternoon. I'm Jill Schumacher alongside Patrick Scanlon and Andrew Watson on ESPN 97.7. It has been a series of transfers, as we have seen, going into the portal in and out for Syracuse. As of right now, there is a mock.
You want to give me? I'll give you your start. This is what this person on Twitter at Cuse B-ball fan. Very, very,
reliable
source. I trust that.
I trust that.
He's all in on the
fan.
Cuse. So right now your starting 5 is Nate George at the 1. That's your Georgia Tech guy. JJ starting at the 2. Nate Kings at the 3. Donnie Freeman at the 4. William Kyle the 3rd from UCLA at the 5. Kyan Anthony off the bench. Sadiq White off the bench. Ibrahim Soare and Luke Fennell and Aaron Womack leading it out.
Are there any of those that you think you would flip-flop?
I don't think flip-flop, no.
I don't know about flip-flop. I think Kyan Anthony's probably going to get the starting nod.
I can tell you right now that...
Who would he take out?
Probably... It's going to be...
Starling's not going anywhere.
No, Starling's probably going to have to play... Kyan's going to have to learn to play the 2. Like, because he hasn't really played that much in high school, but he's got to learn to... If him and JJ can learn to, like, mesh well and, like, have a great summer together and, like, actually develop a connection... I think that could be a pretty dynamic duo to watch. I don't hate that duo.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me now, looking at that starting 5, is
who's your big man?
What is the painted area going to look like? One.
Yeah.
And is this Syracuse team next year going to look like the exhibition Syracuse team from this year, where they put up all these threes and made a bunch of them and then went out there and struggled from behind the arc? Because you got 3 of your 3 guards, Starling, Kings, and George, would all shoot the 3 ball very well. So while that is a great thing, don't get me wrong, but we've seen from this past year, you have some great 3-point shooters, but if you're one-dimensional, then you can't do anything.
The problem the problem Syracuse had this year was the fact that Jaycon Carlos was supposed to come in and facilitate only. But in today's college basketball, you can't just facilitate because then you're left on an island around 3, and you're going to have to shoot those threes and make those threes. Jayquan could only make that 3 against like Virginia Tech, but he couldn't consistently do that.
That was awesome.
Which was pretty sweet, even though they lost that game. And the fact is, Chris Bell had just so much pressure on him to make every shot he took that he ended up having to play off the bench just because that's just where we were at that point in the season. The fact is, you need multiple reliable shooters across the perimeter, and you can't just rely on one guy to make every shot, because he's gonna at best make half of them, and then you're still mad at the player when he misses the second shot after he made the first one. So you need a bunch of reliable shooters around 3, and you probably need a big man too who can hit the 3. We really had
Jerry Dang.
I like Jerry Dang. We talked about Jerry Dang, this Florida State guy. We've had success with Florida State guys before. Naheem McLeod, a little bit of success mid-season against Duke. He had 10. Pretty good run the 3-and-D. But this is a different type of guy. This is a pretty good big that can shoot it too.
So
what about Nathan George?
So that's wow,
Jill, what a perfect segue.
You're on it. So what I was going to say is that he's going to have to learn to play a different role at Syracuse.
Not point guard.
No, he's going to have to play point guard. But he averaged over 6 assists this year, 12.3 points, but he also was putting up 11 shots per game. I don't think with all of the talent that will be on Syracuse's team next year, he is going to be the guy to put up 11 shots a game.
That's a lot of shots.
I do not. No, I think he's going to have to settle down and take maybe like 7, because I'd be perfectly fine to see J.J. Starling or whoever put up 15, because trust your guys, but it's also helpful to have him in a different role, because let's say J.J. Starling's having a bad night or Kings is having a bad night, then he can step up and score too. So, it's nice to have scorers, but it's also kind of difficult when you have a ton of scorers, especially when they all transfer in and they're first learning to play with each other. Yeah,
I agree. But then you're also looking at trying to replace what you had in the paint in terms of like Eddie Lampkin now leaving. Can we
talk about that for a second too? What are you, Eddie? What is Eddie Lampkin doing? Entering the transfer portal. You have no eligibility left. It's like, I'm going to get a waiver. We're not getting a waiver. It's time to graduate. You played a lot of basketball. It's time to go in the real world.
Hey, if he gets it.
How would he get it?
I don't know.
Look at Sedona Price.
I will not look at Sedona Price.
I don't know. I don't know how he would get it, but if he did. Lucas Taylor's also in the portal.
Lucas Taylor's in the portal.
People forget that. He's played 4 years of college basketball.
Isn't Pitar, isn't he in the portal too? Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Because he said that they were in, and then they said, hold up, pump the brakes. We don't know if he's in.
Who are you asking?
Okay.
Storovich is right now. It says he's in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chance Westry's gone too. Chaba Moore's gone. It's going to be a new team, which I don't hate for this squad. I think, you're going to need... I think Coach Autry knows this is the put up or shut up year, and you got to get the big freshmen in. You got to get the big time recruits.
Guess who has the number 1 transfer ranking?
Louisville.
And then Syracuse, 15.
All right, as of now, that's fantastic. Let's see how it holds in July.
I'm just stating what I'm seeing. But then, do you think William Kyle is actually going to be able to produce in the paint for Syracuse?
He was really good at South Dakota State. His production wasn't great at UCLA, but I think he's got potential there. He was Defensive Player of the Year at the Summer League, which is pretty impressive. That was a pretty good Jackrabbit squad.
Yeah, I'm not super sold on that, but also if that's your biggest question mark, a guy who
that's fine
scored in double figures his sophomore year at South Dakota State, and then went to UCLA and kind of struggled a little bit with some injuries and played sparingly. Now he's coming here, and right now, if they don't go out and get another big man, he will be the guy.
Yeah.
And so I think he is going to come out with about all the fire that anyone could ever play with. So.
I think it's also the reality of the situation, like you mentioned, that he came from South Dakota State. At South Dakota State, he was very productive and a huge part of their defense. But then he was fighting through injuries at UCLA, but the thing is that he was producing well for someone coming off of that type of injury. I feel like I can't make a full assessment until I see him 100% back.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, he's got. It's kind of last year the focus was on the big man, and you really threw all your NIL chips at the big man in Eddie. But now they're kind of like, all right, let's back off the big man. We guys who can shoot. So they're kind of undervaluing it. But
they got their guys that can shoot, and if you can get, I don't know, if they can find a big man who can stretch the floor, I think they could be pretty good next year.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to throw out any. I don't want to throw out any predictions of.
But I think
someone asked if Eddie Lampkin is taking his restaurant with him.
Yes,
I don't. I really hope.
Is that good? I've heard it's solid.
I've never been.
Well, it's here. It's physically in Syracuse, so I don't know if that one can go fit on the plane.
How are you up and moving a restaurant? I guess you just take the
They put houses
with
on
you?
tractor trailers. That's pretty big time. But I don't know if you could put this restaurant on. It's like Big Fellas, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it's called. But
What?
Big Fellas brings Cajun spice to Syracuse. And that was 2 months ago. I don't know if it stays around, but we'll see. I don't think he's getting a waiver anyway, so he's going to be playing probably I would assume G League basketball, for a starting point.
Yeah, Summer League. He could earn a spot. He's one of those guys that
Good glue
If you
guy.
need a glue guy, yeah,
That's
he's
true.
the guy.
Yeah.
He brings the energy.
Give me my intro.
Oh, this is Judge Jill's courtroom. All verdicts are final. All court cases are final. Something along those lines. This is Judge Jill.
Okay. If you could have the championship game for March Madness be played in any stadium, weather not included, like it could be outside because we're not worried about the weather.
3.
Where would it be?
2, 1. The Palestra. Bang! The Palestra. Andrew and I got to experience this year at Penn. It's hosted more March Madness games than anywhere. It's hosted more different teams than any place ever, and it's magical.
Imagine a national championship
In the Palestra.
in the Palestra that
I need
sits
to look up
9,000
this,
people.
please.
Oh, my
9,000 people.
Absolutely bonkers. Just
You
the
go
history.
from 60-something thousand to 9,000.
There are only 2 bathrooms in the place, but it would be rocking. It would be pretty sweet.
Think about it's Penn University.
It's Penn, but we're almost out of
The
time here. I think
Jadwin
we're
Gymnasium over there at
that's pretty
Princeton
good.
is
But the
also-
Palestra is a good answer. I'll be fine with a tie today.
Yes,
You know.
I'm taking
Okay,
the Palestra
that's
too.
fine, but I just want to see what it looks like.
It's pretty sweet.
That's kind of cool.
It's history. There's a lot of history.
All right.
We got 5 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on Q Sports Talk, Newhouse Afternoon, ESPN 97.7. Stick around for the Sports Talk show later today at 3.
This is Orange
There we go.
Nation.
Like I